we'll do one more, and then we'll just take a break.
I'm Mary. Excuse me. I'm Mary Duggan. I live at 260 East Yancombe, Daniel. I guess I'm the. I won't say that. I guess I just have to take the other side of that. After the tentative budget was passed at the June public hearing, the board passed and approved the work agreements, the agreements with negotiations with all of the employees, the district employees, over 1,000 people. You're safe. We've made a decision that we are going to support our people, and I have absolutely no problem with that. We're all passionate and compassionate with what you do. I have a master's in library science, and I was a tenured faculty member in Washington State. So, you know, I'm not an educator anymore, but I was. Now I was a clerk recorder for the town of Daniel. I understood everything that they were talking about on that certified tax rate. Not everyone can do that. But everybody's tax is going to be different because of your situation. My property has been reassessed 3 times in the last 5 years. My taxes this year went up over $4,000, up over $4,000. So here we are. We are just going to have to bite the bullet for a little while, but we need to spread the pain. I gave a presentation to the board earlier today, and one of the things I advocated was lobbying for an impact fee for development. And they were listening. I'm so glad to hear that, because I think that's important. We need to spread the pain. I did tell them also that there are a lot of people in a situation like me. This is going to be difficult. I'm going to have to sacrifice and do without some things. There are a lot of other people in that same position as well. I hope you'll understand that. We're not trying to stop the development. We're not trying to stop the school district. But that old adage, needs versus wants, comes up. We decided that we need great teachers. Yes, sir. Now, what else can we do? Can we cut anything? We can't continue to overpay on well, let me back up a minute. The last year's budget was $84 million, but the amended budget was $87. We overspent by $3 million last year. This has been a trend over the last several years. This year's budget, 92. So at the end of this fiscal year, will we have 95? Let's get some responsibility in our budgets. Thank you.
Brian Thorne, 440 Huckleberry Lane, Beaver City, Utah. I'm also the principal at Midway Elementary. I appreciate the comments about supporting teachers. But I think it's important to emphasize that salaries is great, and we want it, we love it, and I thank you for it. But supporting the working conditions of teachers is important as well. We have 5 grade level classrooms with portables. We have, yesterday I sat from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock and registered new students. We're pushing needing to put another classroom into portables if we get any more growth at all in that grade level. Julie Flack sitting over here, we call her office an office. It's a closet. It's literally this wide. We actually taught speech in that last year. We have 3 interventionists sharing the same room in a portable. We had a lockdown drill this year, and it was impactful. To think about our kids, it wasn't a drill, it was a lockdown. And to think about those kids in those portables in a lockdown with all the things going on in this country was disturbing, and it was hard. We need the best for our kids, and I don't know why we should apologize for that. I'm a father. I've got 12-year-old twins and an 11-year-old daughter, and I want them to have the best. I don't want them to go to a 6A high school. I want them to play sports. I want them to be into play. I want them to have opportunities. And I appreciate having a board that sees it as a priority to do right by our kids and to do right by our teachers. And if we're really going to support our teachers, let's support them all the way. Let's get them the best. Let's get them what they need. Let's get them out of portables. I've been acting like Midway Elementary doesn't stink for 8 years. Teachers come and tell me, and if I smell it, no, it smells pretty good to me. It stinks. That elementary wasn't made to have 600 little or 700 little kids going to the bathroom. We have a lunch lady that literally lost a tooth. because the lunchroom is so small. They turned around and hit her in the, she got hit in the mouth of the tray as they tried to move around. That's my time, but I just want to thank all of you guys. We're passionate about education. We have new teachers here who told me this is the best district they've ever been in. These are veteran teachers, and they talked about the leadership today of the Wasatch Back, and it's evident tonight. So thank you.
Coach at a 6A school either, so it's nice to get a smaller school. I'm Steve Colburn, live at 195 North, 1300 East here in Heber City. I'm just here as a teacher, been teaching for 30 years, 8 of it, starting my 8th year in Heber. So my wife teaches here, our kids have gone to school here, and it's been such a great advantage for our 3 older kids went to school in Sanpete County. Our 2 younger kids went to school here. Total different education at Wasatch than there is at Manti, and it's a great place to be, but there's a lot different education in Heber City than there is in Manti. We thank you, the school board, the community. We're taxpayers as well. Like I said, both of us teach here, and I just wanted to come tonight, say thank you to the school board for what you've done for the educators, what you've done for the schools, and what you've done for this community. So thank you.
Okay, I'll open it up to the board for any comments. He's going to be the first one.
No, yeah, he'll be the third one.
Go ahead. Is there any comments or wants to address? Well, he's going to go after.
Thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
No.
Jerry, let's go, then we'll cut after Jerry.
I appreciate being here, and thanks. I'm going to try to be as nice as I can. Huh? Oh, that's right. Jerry Owens, Midway, Utah, 79 North Johnson Mill Road. I'm going to tell you something about the American dream out of my view, okay? I was divorced, had 3 little boys, always wanted to live up here 35 years ago or so. I got a place in Charleston, too little. It was one of the roundhouses. Moved, found a place that nobody wanted. Got it on a foreclosure. My mom said, "You're out of your mind. You should level that place. It's ridiculous." Well, I didn't want to level it because it has walls this thick. It's one of the original homes in Midway. So this will be good for my kids. So we worked our butts off. It's a pretty cool place. And they raised my taxes by 84% last year. 84%. Now they want to raise them some more. So here's what happens. Oh, this is after the city of Midway a few years back took a ½ an acre of my land that was mine in Midway Park that everybody, as long as you can remember, paid taxes on that land. And all of a sudden they said, "That's not your land." See, it's called a taking. I call it a stealing. They took my land. They didn't pay me 1 penny. And then they said, "Well, here's the deal. We moved the boundaries." So they moved the boundaries so the land isn't mine anymore, right? But then, here's the kicker. They still charge me taxes for 2 years on that same piece of land. So none of these guys, I'm not blaming any of them, but I'm a vet. I volunteered. I wasn't drafted. I moved up here with 3 little boys. One died in my arms of cancer, turning 9 years old. I was wiped out. And then they do this stuff to you. And it really hurts. It really hurts. So I appreciate teacher. One of the teachers said it's tough some days. Yeah, I know what that's all about. It's tough some days. Another teacher said, "Thanks for appreciating us so much." Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I was asked to be a coach for the Wasatch team, not the soccer team that couldn't make grades. They had trouble, with citizenship problems. So I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. I didn't get any money. I didn't ask for any money. I love this community. I love the people in that, but what's going on isn't fair. See, it's not fair. It's not right. Nobody from Midway has ever come to me and say, a few mayors back, they stole your property. But we're good people, so here, this is what you deserve. See, that's what bothers me. Where's the justice? Where's the truth? For us guys, And I'm glad you teachers, I'm for you 100%. I love you. I'm doing a project. I took a piece of my land and said, you guys can build a greenhouse here. We'll have an aquaponic thing. You can bring students in that. I didn't charge anything. I'm working with them. I love you guys. But who loves me? Who loves us? Who loves us? You're taxing us out. Our kids can't live here. You keep coming in. You keep coming in. That's fine. Have you ever been to Solvang? Solvang? It was a cool little Danish place. Now it's pathetic. And you have to be smart enough. Somebody said, well, we can't stop the growth. It's called, what's the word? What's the word?
Moratorium. Zoning.
Zoning. That's what I meant. Thank you. I was fuming with zoning. Because you're going to do it, folks. You're going to do it. Otherwise, this is going to be New York or Park City or Solvang. Good luck. Somebody please care about us, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Well, save it. Let me go to any doctor I want to. Don't make me go to the VA because it sucks. And it's none of these guys. They're great guys.
Okay. Board, we'll open up now for the board for any comments.
I would just say something to Rachel's comment. First of all, congratulations on your recent success.
We're only halfway there.
I understand that, but congratulations. We look forward to being better partners with cities and counties. Some don't know it. We had a pretty strange relationship there for a while, and it's gotten better. But we can be better. And I think we're all committed to serving more and doing more, especially with the interlocal, what do they call it?
What is exactly called? Interlocal advisory board?
We want to be more involved with that, and we need to be. And I think it would help us, and I think it would help other entities understand where we're coming from too. So we can do better there.
All right, we'll open it back up.
I'm Tara Jarvie, and I'm a teacher here, and I moved here from Washington County School District last year, and I have to say they're facing a lot of the same growing pains, but they're not taking care of their teachers the way you guys do, and I appreciate you. This truly is the best district ever, and it's because of our leadership, so thanks.
Tracy Taylor, Heber City, 451 North, 1300 East. We all love children. We all want them to have great education. I was a PTA mom for 17 years, and I'll probably start again. There's some things that were discussed, and we kind of went over into the bond, which is not tonight. In fact, it's May 20th when they're going to vote on that. We just got a notice. August 20th. Thank you. We just got a notice today, but I want to get back to the tax increase while we're here tonight. I think what the public needs to understand is that the capital fund that you are funding 45% really doesn't have a lot of public input and oversight. That money gets to be used however you see fit. Whereas the bond has to go to a November election and the people get to vote on that, which includes the location, the land they chose. There's some issues with the land that they chose for the high school, and it's in a flood zone. Anybody can go look at the county map for the flooding. It's right on the map. But the point is that capital fund, we're with the Wasatch Taxpayers Association. We grammar requested how much was in that capital fund just a couple months ago, and there's over $6 million in it. Now, I'm a little concerned about the pattern of conduct in the past of them purchasing land without appraisals, without doing proper due diligence on the Daniel property on 3000 South. They didn't realize there wasn't a sewer. There's no curb and gutter and sidewalks for the kids to go to school. So they purchased this land and had to go find another piece. So those are my concerns. This property up at Sorensen, people need to understand that is right next to the UVU campus. There are already students going over there that have to get there on their own. That is the logical place to put a high school in the future, is to have that UVU campus. That campus could actually help UVU by having it so close to that high school. The last thing I want to talk about, because you keep bringing them up, and so I want to bring up the fact that I would like to see equitable taxing throughout everybody in the county, which you brought up your tax notices and who's assessed. Some were assessed 3 times in the last 5 years. We checked of some of you folks on the board and sitting up there. You haven't been assessed since 2011. I'm a real estate broker in this community. I know that was the bottom of the market in 2011 because we did not increase any value from 2009 to 2012, 13. I think it's only fair that you guys check your own assessment and make sure that you are reassessed for this year, because I can't believe there's still people in our community that haven't been reassessed since 2011. Thank you.
Comments in regards to that. You know, if we haven't been reassessed, that has nothing to do with us. We are not the county assessor. I don't know if I've ever spoke to the county assessor. That is not my role. That is not our role. A couple things that I want to make a comment on. You're a real estate broker, you stated.
Yep.
So you know budgets. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. In 2020, on your website, you have advertised that, are you aware that our current capital debt compared to the other school districts per capita and per student cost is one of the highest in the state? Wasatch School's debt is currently 5th of all Utah districts. Is that correct?
Yes.
The spreadsheet that you posted for us to click on shows Wasatch debt at 23%. Morgan is 28. Duchesne is 25. Beaver is 24. Cache is 24. Tintic is 32. Juab is 25. Tooele is 24. And Nebo is 24. That puts us number 9.
Well, can I
Why?
answer that?
I'll finish and then you can answer.
Okay.
What I have found in going over your budget analysis is there is a slant on everything. There are inaccuracies everywhere. And so I'd like to proceed with one that I really take an issue with. Moving on, with the proposed new building construction of $150 million, it will be far and away first in debt. See this. And then you post a link that we can click on. So what else is advertised is that we will be that our debt is due to our building, and building elaborate buildings. We're building, as Mary said, needs instead of wants. And so with this spreadsheet that is posted showing the Utah debt, if we look at this spreadsheet, number 1 is Morgan. Morgan has the debt ratio that you're talking about at 28%. They have 3,069 students. So they are lower than us, which naturally they're going to be a little bit higher. But that is not the case. That is not the trend on the spreadsheet. Nebo is a great example. Nebo has 32,809 students. They have a tax base on this spreadsheet of 137,744 population. Much larger than we have. Yet their debt is 24%, which is higher than ours. And so with your analysis, we would go down to Nebo and expect to see elaborate schools because their debt is tied to their schools. It's tied to what they built based on your analysis. And so, if we look one step deeper, Nebo, this last year, since 2008, Nebo, Maple Mountain High School, 2009, brand new. Salem Hills, 2008, brand new. Last year, $298 million bond with $47 million coming from their capital fund to go towards the building of more schools and additional projects. So Nebo is higher than us because of the growth that they have received and because of the timing of their debt. Morgan, if you look at Morgan, new Mountain Green Middle School that opens this year. The high school addition is slated to open this year. Their tax base and population is only 11,000. The timing of their debt is new, which brings up the percentage of student to debt ratio higher. Wasatch County School District built a new school, new high school in 2009. We built a new middle school, a new pool, and a new elementary since then. Our debt is newer, and so naturally our debt is going to be higher. The association of saying that our schools are needs, are wants instead of needs is inaccurate. Your analysis, your posts, everything has been on that slant, that we are building stuff too elaborate. It's not accurate. The very information that you have on your website is false. It shows the faults of your analysis. If you are going to be the fiscal hawks of Wasatch County, I would expect, personally, some fiscal abilities. And if you have them, and you're not showing them, then that is all on the Taxpayers Association.
Can I respond?
I think it's really important as we participate in these community meetings to try to be transparent and fair. Today we had a presentation from your association, and your mission is to promote fair, transparency, and impartial information. Consistently going through and saying the last high school cost $80 million. That is inaccurate. The last high school cost $69 million. So that's one case in point. The second case in point is recently you posted 3 videos of the interlocal meeting. So your comments about what occurred at that meeting are unfair, non-transparent, and partial. For example, Paul Sweat says how visitors from around the country come to our school district. That's a fact. You're slant. Seems like our school district is spending our taxpayer dollar to lift their reputation. Question mark. That is putting words into the superintendent's mouth. That is slanting that other school districts across the state, across the country, that want to come and see what we do because we have great teachers and great facilities, they come to get best practices. No way, shape, or form do we, at any point, try to increase the reputation of our district by spending taxpayer dollar. That's untrue, it's unfair, it's non-transparent, and it's extremely partial. Second case in point, superintendent at that meeting says he goes to breakfast with county managers to foster a relationship of trust. Then you go on and say, not sure the taxpayers want 3 bureaucrats deciding the future and not discussing with elected officials. It's not true. He did not insinuate for 1 second that he was going to breakfast with them to base their conversation on future decisions. It was slanted, it was not appropriate, it put words in his mouth, and what it does for us is you put us in a corner by making things up that aren't true, and then you represent yourself as a taxpayer association. We asked specifically, what does the membership look of the Taxpayer Association? We weren't able to get that information. You have a treasurer, you charge $100 per membership. I would love to see what the Taxpayer Association membership consists of. Because if I were to poll everybody in this room, I assume they'd raise their hand if they were a taxpayer. So, how many of them are a part of your association? How were you elected to the chair? And where do you give them the opportunity for you to be their voice? There's 30,000 members of the community that voted the 5 of us onto these boards. I would say we represent the taxpayer just as much as you do. The PTA, one text today, 1,000 members. They each pay $6 for their membership. You questioned at our meeting today, what committees do we have? We have the community council. It's run by teachers and principals and community members. The PTA, parents. We have a safety committee that we get together with all the different entities and talk about our school district. We have focus groups. We have town halls. We feel very strongly that we have a pulse on what's going on in the community above and beyond association, whom we're not really sure represents how many members. And time again, you come in and give your self-serving comments to make us out as we're the bad guys. Not only us, but anybody else that tries to handle the growth in this community, whether it's the sewer, the power, the police, the firemen. Growth comes with a consequence. The schools. You attack them to make them feel like they're the scapegoat for what occurs with being in the fastest growing community in the country. And so the last thing that I think is really inaccurate is there are times when you and your group say that the SAT scores or the SAGE scores or the graduating percentages doesn't justify building new schools. And so where does that put us? That's not true. We have great ACT scores. We have improving SAGE scores. We have high graduation rates. To say that that is contingent off us being able to provide the environment where people succeed is once again unfair, non-transparent, and extremely partial. We have 1,000 employees. We are the largest employer in the community. We have a responsibility to take care of those employees. And what we're doing tonight is that. It's a hard decision. I'm a taxpayer. My parents and my in-laws, they're on fixed incomes. They're retired. What we're doing takes extreme leadership and long-term strategy that there are not that many people that are elected officials that are willing to take. We're not taking the easy route, we're taking the best route. It's always with us, teachers and students first, fiscal responsibility always. Thank you.